welcome each one of you who have chosen to join this gathering on acceptance. We spotlighted here on the screen the team that has organized this event. It's a teamwork, and each person present here has taken part on the envisioning and the conception and finally delivering this. Well, here is Budi, my wife.
Hello, greeting to each one of us and beloved friends. I'm so grateful to be part of the event.
Yeah, Budi was born in Mongolia. We have traveled many places sharing spiritual knowledge, including A Course in Miracles and our Course of Love. Currently, we are in Brazil. My name is Rodrigo Caires. And as I said, we are the team of event coordinators who gathered to envision and prepare this opportunity for us to meet and to dialogue together. So this is not a class, this is not a talk, this is not like a presentation. We want to hear what the present moment tells us, what is revealed now to each one of us. I'm going to invite first Karen Floyd, to introduce yourself.
Hi, everyone. My name's Karen Floyd. I'm a student of ACOL for about 3 years now. And when I found the book, I devoured it in about 4 days. And it just sunk into every cell of my body as truth. And I'm excited about our topic today because one of the biggest gifts after being on the spiritual path for many, many years, I'm also a Christian mystic minister, is acceptance. It really helped me understand that I didn't have to like everything to be spiritual, that it's okay if I don't like something, I can still accept it. And that was one of the biggest gifts A Course of Love gave me. This far along on my path, I was still holding a concept of what spirituality looked like, and I wasn't there yet. And A Course of Love really showed me to drop those concepts of what I thought anything should look like, including me. So near and dear to my heart is acceptance.
Well, beautiful, Karen. Thank you for your introduction. And I will ask you, Karen, to read for us one of the quotes about which we are going to dialogue later.
Taking away the idea of placing blame will change your thought processes beyond your wildest imagining. All you need do is catch yourself in the act of placing blame and say to yourself, I was placing blame again, and I choose to do so no longer. Although I offer it not as a replacement, what you will find will come in the place of blame is an idea of acceptance of what is, an idea that is needed now. Acceptance of what is acceptance that whatever's happening in the present moment is a gift and a lesson. What comes as a lesson may not seem like a gift, but all lessons are gifts. Quit blaming others for what is being experienced in the present. Accept the present as a lesson, knowing that all lessons are gifts.
All lessons are gifts. That was really powerful. Thank you for reading, Karen. Let me call you Lynn. Could you please introduce yourself? Lynn is widely known in the ACOL community, but maybe some of you don't know her.
Yeah, hey everyone. It's just an honor to join with all of you here. I'm so glad you could make it. And I've been in the Course of Love community now for a little over 5 years. And I transitioned from ACIM community. And I really love both of them. I find that A Course of Love is just a seamless flow of Course in Miracles into the next sort of step. And for me, it's all connected, and it's beautifully comes alive in both A Course in Miracles and A Course of Love as one seamless flow. And I just wanted to say that the most important thing for me, and the reason I'm here today, is I have a devotion, a sincere devotion to creating a sacred space for us all to feel connected here together and to be able to share and meet each other in the open space of the heart. And that is the most transformational experience that I have had in a Course of Miracles, Course of Love community, is participating in all the events and the Zoom groups, and being able to let ourselves be fully seen, to experience this moment authentically, to discover together, to come to know in a togetherness. And that's the most important thing for me. And so I hope that we're able to do that, create a safe space for everyone to feel okay to share what's on their hearts, and to feel that connection, the wholeheartedness and the unity that joins us all as one. So thank you, everyone.
Wow, thank you so much, Lynn. That was so beautifully expressed. And I invite you now to read a quote.
Once again, I remind you, and by the way, this is from the Dialogues, Chapter 4. Once again, I remind you that there is no authority to whom you can turn. But in place of that outside authority, I give you your own authority, an authority that you must claim in order for it to be your own. Let this acceptance of your own internal authority be your first act of acceptance rather than learning. Turn to this new pattern and to the thought system of giving and receiving as one. Let the authority of the new be given and received. Become the author of your own life. Live it as you feel called to live it. We cannot build the new upon the prison walls of the old. Whatever imprisons you must now be left behind. Accept your inner authority, your true self, the capital S. This is the first act of acceptance rather than learning. Become the author of your own life. Live it as you feel called to live it. Leave behind whatever imprisons you.
Thank you, Lynn. Yeah. And now, Paris Chagua, please introduce yourself.
Thank you so much. It's so great to embrace more people that are open to A Course of Love and Course of Miracles, and just spend this time. And I just feel like, alone, we are connected, but when we come together, it's just like this superpower, this connection that ignites all of our pathway. I feel like, everyone I've spoken to in any of these groups where we share together, we're creating the new together. And if you've read the Course, I don't know if some of you are beginners reading the Course. Some of you maybe have read the Course for a long time since it was published. But it will be fun to explore our backgrounds when we go into these groups. I'm really looking forward to it. And my background is graphic design and advertising, and that's my career path. And it suits my right brain. But I always look for people to complete me, because the left brain, the idea of, order and the pathway is clear. To me, I'm always in a state of disorientation. But I'm now accepting it, which goes along so well with our theme today. And the time of learning is over. And so we can put that down and just be who we are inside. And we have that inner authority that Lynn was talking about that is so beautiful.
Yeah.
So thank you It's nice to meet you. I'm from Oregon, in the northwest part of the United States, close to the ocean, Pacific Ocean.
Thank you, Paris. That was really beautiful. Paris, could you please read another set of quotes?
Yes, I would love to. So we're in the dialogues, 40 Days and 40 Nights, day 8, accept the present. If you can't remove yourself from life, what choice have you but to join with it? Love it. Love yourself. Love yourself enough to accept yourself. Love will transform normal, ordinary life into extraordinary life. Loving exactly who you are and where you are in every moment is what will cause the transformation that will end your desire to remove yourself from life. All those frustrations you currently feel have a purpose: to move you through them and beyond them to acceptance. But here is the point that needs clearing up. This is not about the acceptance of what you do not like. Do you really think you are being called to accept normal life? Called to accept those conditions that have made you feel unhappy? No, you are being called to an acceptance of new conditions. Accept yourself, love yourself. Transformation comes from accepting and loving yourself just as you are. This is not about accepting what you don't like, but accepting new conditions, living with love.
Yeah, living with love. Yeah. Thank you, Paris. Now I invite you, Lanti, to introduce yourself.
Hi, thanks to everyone for being here. I'm really at peace, but my heart is beating in excitement for being part of such an amazing opportunity. I came through A Course of Love after living quite a life of being forged through separation. And as an orphan, I was always seeking for a place to belong, seeking for something greater than myself, and seeking for love mainly, and acceptance of who I was. I didn't have an identity. I don't even know my birthday. And so when I came to A Course of Love, when I first read it, it was like I wept, because it was like getting a letter from my dad. It felt like that to me. It felt like someone knew me. I did belong. And when I went through the entire book, what came through was who I am, what I'm here for, and that I am so loved beyond, immeasurably, beyond what my mind can conceive. And that the belonging and the connection was with the relationship within me first. And it transformed me and continues to transform me into really being real, being present, and accepting all there is in my life, because it's everything in my life that brought me to this point of finding who I am. And so I am so delighted to really be useful in spreading that message of belonging, of who we are, and accepting the path that got us here.
Lanti, wow, it touched my heart, because I had exactly the same feeling, and it's probably common among many readers. We feel as if the voice is speaking directly to us, as if the voice knows who we are, speaking directly to us, and that we are known. Yeah. and we belong. Yeah. Okay, and would you like to read the quote for us?
All power to effect change comes from acceptance. Not acceptance of the way things are, but acceptance of who you are in the present. Not through acceptance of the way you want to be, but of the way you are now. There will be many things within your life that will take some time to change, but many others that can change instantly through this radical acceptance. You will find, once you have begun to practice acceptance of the present, that there will be far fewer things you do not like, and that you'll be shown in the relationship you have in the present, the response to those you still do. Acceptance empowers us to effect change. All power to effect change comes from acceptance of who you are in the present. Thus, there will be less things you don't like, and the response to those you still don't like will be revealed.
Acceptance is empowering. Even we say it's a liberating attitude. But let's go ahead. Let's see now, Matt, our Matthew knows. Can you please introduce yourself?
Hi, Rodrigo. Thank you very much. Hi, everybody. Thanks for coming. We're all in this together, and we're studying this beautiful book. I assume you have all read it or are reading it. I've read A Course of Miracles for many, many years, and when I was introduced to this book, it's definitely a supplement and a continuation, and a very patient book I found. I wasn't ready. I was in a state of becoming into my awareness of identity. Still am, I assume. But I gotta say that this book, like A Course in Miracles, is a living experience with me. It seems to meet me where I'm at, and has very gently taken me into great places. And so today, we're going to go into breakout rooms, and we're going to, as Rodrigo was indicating, take a look at acceptance from various angles. I'll be with you, with some of you, in a breakout room later to talk about identity. What is identity? our true identity. And if you're a student of A Course of Miracles, and if you're a student of Course of Love, you know how powerful you are, and how powerful your knowings are, and what is it that we know. And Rodrigo, I'm ready to read the quote if you want to take us there.
Thank you for your intro, Matt. I'm going to screen share.
This quote is coming from chapter 8 in the second treatise on the nature of unity. Unity, right? Oneness. Identity is in oneness. We'll find, and that we're all, the same. The paragraph that we've highlighted, obviously identity is riddled throughout A Course of Love, but for this paragraph 8.6, let me read it for our breakout discussion. It was said often within A Course of Love that the truth does not change. Thus, the truth of who you are has not changed, and you are as you were created. Form and behavior are, however, subject to change, as are your expressions of who you are. This distinction must be fully realized here in order for you to accept the truth of who you are and to come to an acceptance of the unchangeable nature of this truth. This is akin to being done with seeking. The final acceptance that you have found and that you have been found. You need no longer journey onto the paths of seeking. The truth of yourself that you reveal now will not become a new truth as you take a new path. Your path now is sure and its final acceptance necessary. You are the prodigal sons and daughters who have returned home. Your stay is not finite. You are not here to rest and gain strength for another journey in search of something that is not available here. Here is the realm of the already accomplished. This is home. Your expression of who you are may lead you to many new adventures, but never again to the special relationships that would take you away from your true self. Never again will you be away from home, for home is who you are, a place you carry within you, a place that is you. This is the home of unity. Thanks, Rodrigo.
Yep. Would you like to read the summary or the essence of it?
Sure. Accept your identity. The search is over. This is the final acceptance that you found and have been found. The return of the prodigal child. This truth doesn't change. What changes now is your self-expression.
Right. Yes.
Thanks.
Thank you, Matthew.
See you later.
Yeah, see you later. Now we have our Yogi Chris. Please introduce yourself.
Welcome, everyone. My name is Yogi Chris Casanovas, and I feel like I am as God created me. I'd like to share a little bit about how I got to this point. I did have an experience of hitting bottom back in '93 and finding the Course in Miracles, the 12 steps, and yoga. And I've been facilitating A Course in Miracles since 2000, so it's been 22 years.
Mm-hmm.
And recently, about 6 years ago, I found A Course of Love. I've had it in my bookshelf for quite a long time before that, but I wasn't ready for it. And when I really was ready for it, it found me. So I've been blessed by attending conference groups, both by phone and by Zoom, and its application in my life, which brought me to a deeper experience of myself. I've been honored to help in this gathering, which I'm feeling so blessed. Thank you, Rodrigo. Thank you, Lanti. And like Lanti shared, I was also at that time looking for love, but in all the wrong places, as that song states. So really feeling good. Thank you again, and I'm looking forward to serving in the highest way. Thank you. I'm complete.
Thank you, Chris. Would you please read the quote for us? I'm going to screen share.
So this is on the dialogues, the 40 days and 40 nights, day 8 on Accept the Present. Realize that your desire for your life to be different, your desire for your unhappiness to be gone, is very unlikely in truth to stem from the details of your life. Even so, you're not called to accept what you do not like, but to accept that you don't like whatever it is you don't like. Then and only then, when you have accepted how you feel, can you respond truly. Only when you have accepted how you feel do you quit labeling good or bad. Only then can you deal with anything from a place of peace. We are not then talking of acceptance, talking of externals, but of internals. We are not talking of the old adage or prayer that calls you to accept what you cannot change, but acceptance, absolute, unconditional acceptance of your higher self. Accept all feelings without judgment. Accepting how we feel in each moment allows us to respond with a place of peace, from a place of peace. This is not about pretending to like what we don't like, but to accept how we feel about it. Above all, to accept our higher self. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Chris. So as we see, the course of love is so broad, in its approach on acceptance, that we kind of put together quotes that have a similar line of thought. And so we got now 6 different lines. They are all interconnected. They are not separate. However, it would be interesting for us to go deeper into each of these lines, each aspect of acceptance. And that's what we are going to do now. Our link here is going to set up breakout rooms. There will be 6 of them, and we will have 30 minutes to feel into this, one of the 6 aspects of acceptance. I will invite each facilitator to share the gist, the essence of what was discussed or in dialogue in each breakout room. I'm going to start with you, Karen.
Okay. Yeah, ours was about accepting and not resisting the lesson, that every lesson is a gift. And we talked about things like everyday inconveniences, health, relationships. And it was a lot about, everyone really had something pivotal to say about blaming or, not liking what was going on. And it was easy, I think, for us to all get to a place of seeing the lessons as gifts. And even being able to get to a place of acknowledging our feelings, that the gift sometimes was the clarity it gave us. We talked about being uneasy and then following that feeling days later and going, what is this about? So how opportunities lead us to self-inquiry, and we get to go deeper and look at, what are we thinking? What are we feeling? Why did that bother me? And then get some revelation. Again, revelation is replacing learning. But what we're really getting is more clear about who we really are and how to accept where we are as we're remembering who we are. So gaining clarity, accepting feelings, but rising above the feelings once we've acknowledged them, and acting from our heart, not just reacting from our emotions, but using those emotions to gain clarity. And knowing that the lessons that we have are what trigger those emotions. We also kind of learned something really cool, that if we're acting out of our emotions, we tend to get what we're feeling and not what we want. Big deal, right? Because if I'm angry and I accept that I'm angry and then I act from anger, the result I get is going to be connected to the anger, not to my higher knowing. So moving from accepting what I feel to the truth of who I am, and then making a choice to respond instead of reacting, is something that we grow through by accepting lessons as gifts. Health challenges are a real challenge, because when we're identified as a spacesuit here on planet Earth, you need this body to walk around and play in the game. So when our health gets threatened, it can be really challenging to either not blame ourselves for what were we thinking that created this, which I call metaphysical malpractice, or just to get out of the panic of the, what am I going to do now? I mean, we're all terminal physically, but we're eternal spiritually. And the truth of who we are is eternal. And so Someone even shared that having physical health challenges is the fast track to spiritual growth. And I can see that. I added, so are relationships. I've seen both be good teachers for me, you know, kind of thrown into the fire where you learn fast and quick or you don't. So it was a delight. The room that I was in, I just really enjoyed the vulnerability and the sharing and the people who just could respond so quickly to what we were looking at. And I really feel blessed. I want to thank them all and thank everyone on the call.
Wonderful, Karen. Wow, we are blessed to hearing such a rich dialogue that had transpired in your room. Thank you for sharing. Now I call Lynn. You please share the essence of the dialogue.
Yeah, thank you. I'll try to be brief. Yeah, so what micro is, it's what it feels like to accept our own true authority, the true inner authority, which is the true self, capital S, the voice of God, the voice of love. And not just an intellectual exercise, but what it actually feels like within us to be able to feel the guidance from within and what that feels like in our body, and also what it feels like when the guidance isn't there. There's a different energy that goes with that. And so we had a beautiful dialogue. We actually ran out of time. We had different experiences that were shared and the feelings that were shared in those experiences. One person shared that, you know, what brought joy to his heart, it was fully accepting who he was in the moment. And it was a service where he felt the love in his heart, and he knew that was the right thing to do. And there was no pushing or trying to make anything happen. It was just going with that flow in the moment. And that was the guidance from his heart. And then we talked about the true authentic yes and a true authentic no. What does that look like when we're making a decision or whatever, and we hear the voice of truth? It's a yes. What does that feel like? Or if it's a no, what does that feel like? And that it's okay to say yes, and it's okay to say no when we're standing in the authentic self. An example was shared with someone who the authentic voice was a no. The true authentic voice was a no, but they went with the yes because of external pressure. And it was two different energies. The yes was a contraction in the body, and it didn't feel right. It was hard, and it was defended. But the voice of yes, the true self, was the peace. But because of the external pressure, they went with the yes instead of going with the authentic no. So we talked about that. What does it look like? The authentic yes and the authentic no. And let's see, also someone shared, how do we know it's the voice of God and the voice of love? And someone shared that it's very gentle. The voice of God, the voice of love, the true self is gentle. It's soft. It doesn't push. It doesn't try to make anything happen. And there's an acceptance with it. And it feels good. It's peace. As opposed to, it's not the true self. There's something else there that there's a different energy. And then, yeah, someone shared that it was, you know, the voice of truth for them, or the voice of love of God, was an inner movement. They could feel the movement, feel the flow of the waters of truth. And sometimes they follow the guidance like right away. It's like an internal prompt to go with it now. And sometimes it's the guidance to wait a little bit. And it's both and. It's not always jump to it. Sometimes we're called to pause. And yeah, and another person said that it's not about being pushing or holding on to outcomes or trying to make anything happen or grasping. Attachments to any outcome is usually a sign that we dialogued on. An attachment to an outcome and an expectation is not the voice of love. And I'm complete.
Well, wonderful, Lynn. That was very rich and very practical indeed. Yeah. Thank you. And now, Paris, would you please share what happened in the dialogue?
Yes, I had a group of ladies, amazing women who we didn't have enough time to really explore fully. I'm sure you all experienced that as well. But, our look at accepting the present actually brought into focus the belief in death. And this last sentence, I'm going to read this to you in verse 2. It's chapter 8, verse 2. Loving exactly who you are and where you are in every moment is what will cause the transformation that will end your desire to remove yourself from life. And just that whole idea of removing yourself from life, indicates that that's a choice, removing yourself from life. And of course of love embraces so much our small self, the human self, and expresses the love, for the state that we're in right now, because we're in it and we're holy. And so this is a valid state to be in. We had some expressions of how people felt about death. And it was really interesting. And we had this one woman who expressed that her fear was not of dying. And maybe she didn't say fear, but it was like what she was most concerned with was that, she would have to remain here and, or like come back in another life again, that she would have, like it was a form of punishment or something is what I was feeling. And it was such an amazing share to me because, I don't feel like that. I'm not afraid of staying. It would be more like I have feelings of trepidation of, well, what next? We had other shares about the dimension, that we exist in other dimensions simultaneously, and that we're having different kinds of experiences that maybe don't include death. They're more surreal. And I felt that was really interesting, to share other people's insights in that way was really great. Another woman shared when she first discovered the Course of Love, she had a voice that said, "This is urgent." And so she paid attention to it and has read it, on average once a year for 4 years. So, it was really cool that people could share their experiences of another realm, the altered state of voices. And so we're opening up, it feels like we're opening up, and that it's a form of the new creation. We're no longer basing everything on this book. We're having experiences in life that are teachable moments that transform everything, not only for ourselves. We talked about prayer and sending light to parts of the world when they need it. We have no evidence, that it's a before and after, but that we know that it's making a difference. It's healing. So it was really fantastic. It just enriched me, and I feel like everyone had an amazing share, and people wanted more. So that's always a good sign. So did I fulfill my mission here?
So well. Well, thank you, Paris. It is so inspiring to hear all that you have shared in dialogue in your breakout room. And I'm excited to hear that the accept yourself and love yourself led you to find even other dimensional aspects of our being. So it's very expansive. Okay, thank you, Paris. And now, Lanti, would you please share with us?
Yeah, thank you. We stepped into Dialogue Unveil, and I just love that because we just experienced it. And we were talking about how do we accept our presence, what is coming up for us presently in the face of a situation that we don't like. And looking at acceptance is not a means of condoning, because the situations that are harmful. We spoke about situations that are dangerous or hurtful. What do we do in those kind of situations? And so the conversation really flowed beautifully into how the acceptance of our present moment causes and transforms the changes within us in such a way that there brings forth a oneness within us and not this separation. And because there's a oneness, as we grow into that, the ability to see the oneness in others and to be able to see the Christ in others as we come more and more into loving who we are through being present and allowing what is there. And talking about how the Course of Love really brings all the experience together and doesn't make any parts wrong. And that our body is a communication device. What does that feel like? And we talked about right now, how are you feeling? Where is it in your body? And to be present with it. And there was someone very new to the course that hadn't had a chance to read it. And didn't know how, are there other groups? And so I refer her to the Course of Love website, which I noticed Lynn just posted on the group chat, to join groups that are online because she doesn't have anyone around her. So it's just what a beautiful time. And my only request would be next time that we have more time in the breakout room, because it just wasn't enough to really fully realize that conversation and get to embrace it the way I had hoped to. And but everyone that shared was just from such a heart place, and I appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing, Lanti. Okay, Matthew.
Hi, thank you. I echo Lanti's idea of more time. People like to share, and we got into the groove of sharing, and we felt, I think, that it could be more time. To summarize what we talked about, the thing that we came into the room with was about accepting our identity, and we took a look at it, realizing that there's this sort of foundational aspect of our true self, while at the same time experiencing sort of expressions that that are changeable, the personality and the expressions that we do in our bodies here. And we talked about, different people spoke of different things. One person mentioned that, this idea of not having special relationships or not judging other people is intermittent. And in reality, I don't, I'm not lovey-dovey all the time. And we talked about that is, also an expression of acceptance. It was interesting, that talking about acceptance of identity, it was almost impossible not to cover all of the other themes that you guys talked about. And to separate it was kind of hard. But this idea of not judging people, that we could even accept the fact that we're judging others, that the fact that even that we're aware of it in and of itself is a great becoming, to the point where we can seek and ask for guidance and knowings. Another person shared an interesting component with regards to how do we know when we are in a state of acceptance or unity-mindedness or identifying with our higher self versus not, right? Versus when we're identified with lower selves. And so the discussion went to, feelings, and that led to an idea of emotions and things like that. And we towards the end of that discussion came to the conclusion, to be a little bit, to know the difference between the feelings that come from the emotions, of the personality, but also be aware of that knowingness that doesn't necessarily have words for it. That there's this sort of revelatory knowingness of just isness that may not be associated all the time with feelings of the human body and emotions. Another person came up and talked about, and they said, it's great, that we know our divinity, but, we also have these personalities and these personality quirks. And we wake up every day and they're there. And not to beat ourselves up, I think it was the general jest about the fact that we have, preferences and quirks and different but that's part of it, that we don't, walk around with, that it's not about walking around with your head in the clouds that I am divinity, that it's not that it's a sort of a blending of it all. There's a happy sort of coming home balance to it, that we've got to be happy with our lives and our personalities and our experiences of low times and high tides, right? And that acceptance is also a part of that. And unity, then unity, the experience of unity in terms of joined minds and joined experiences, we started to get into that, and we could have used more time. It's a big topic for sure. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing, Matthew. Yes, and it's natural that in one event like this, we have a sort of a limited time, to discuss. So we invite those who don't participate yet in online or in-person groups, that we have a website, acourseoflove.org. You go to the tab groups, the menu groups, and there we have in-person online group. There we will have weekly gatherings where there will be plenty of time, for each participant to go deeper into this dialogue that is unfolding. It's ongoing, it never ends. Thank you, Matthew. Finally, Yogi Chris, please share.
Thank you, Matthew.
Yeah.
Really enjoying the feedback that I'm hearing here, and when we were in our group, I think the communication really flowed very nicely. People were very open. Loved ones were very open about their experiences, and it was very intimate. Ditto to really wanting a little more time the next time. what was shared a little bit, a brief summary, body issues and the importance of bringing acceptance to that issue that's presenting itself through the body, and the importance of knowing that all healing is of the mind, and the body is just a communication of that. And also the importance of when there is an ache in the body to bring love to that experience, i.e. massage, different self-care and self-acceptance of what the body is presenting. Knowing how to experience life as an instrument. Someone brought up that they were taking piano lessons, and their teacher expressed that person to touch the piano and feel the vibration. That was very analogous to using ourselves as an instrument of God's expression and peace, and that we could learn to express our music through our Creator as that we are like pianos that really are surrendering to the maestro within. So it was very profound. Really enjoyed someone that correlated the Course in Miracles with A Course of Love, and how the Course talks about our thoughts, and the Course of Love does talk about feelings and the acceptance of those feelings, and how they both correlate with each other. And it was brought up that these are intertwined, and we're asked to undo those knots, as Freud and the Buddha would say, and just witness the undoing of that through, I think someone shared this earlier, through stepping back, pausing, and as the Course says, look at them and allow them to pass. And the looking at them would be looking from a space of acceptance of what's passing. So I really, really enjoyed the shares and this opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing, Chris. I'm so glad you mentioned the piano and the music and the idea of a maestro, no, a conductor. And when we were envisioning this event, we all felt here, the event coordinators, that we would like to share something that connects with our feelings, some kind of artwork. Then one of the ACOL group facilitators, Evelyn Sorrentino, she made some drawings that we would like to share with you now. Lynn?
Yeah, Evelyn Sorrentino, she offered a few drawings that demonstrate acceptance. And also I have one to share from Karen Floyd as well. Okay, so let me, and this is, these are just artistic expressions, and we invite everyone to see and feel with their hearts with these artistic expressions. And they're very beautiful. And yeah, so it's an honor to share Evelyn's, and also I'll be sharing one from Karen as well. Okay, so this is one from Evelyn, and this is the four seasons of a pear tree. And this is actually winter, spring, summer, and fall. And the phrase on here is acceptance, a long pause. And so for me, there's no right or wrong answer to this, but feeling into my own heart, it's the acceptance sometimes is a process. And it takes a while for it to become a a fruit bearing, a fruit bearing experience where we actually move into that full bloom and we're now bearing fruit. And so this is just something very beautiful that Evelyn had shared with us. And then the other one I have from Evelyn is this one here. Can you guys see this?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, and this one is the farmer here is shoveling cow manure. As most of us know, farmers use cow manure for fertilizer. And so he's getting some of this cow manure and he's putting it in his bucket. And then somebody comes up and tries to take some of it and he yells, "Get out of here." And then the little drawing here, it's hard to see. Okay, so here's the first one, shoveling manure. And then, "Get out of here." And then the little guy says, "I felt that." And then he goes through the process of acceptance. That's what this one is about here. He actually has to go through that process of acceptance. And then he uses it for fertilizer. There's the apple tree starting to bloom. A few leaves are there. And then finally, the last illustration demonstrates full and unconditional acceptance. And the phrase here is, "So grateful, God appearing as." And he now sees the farmer as a blessing. This guy has pushed him and yelled at him. He goes through the process and he's enjoying the fruit now. And the farmer now is got the sparks and the rays of light. And that's why it says, "So grateful, God appearing as." The rays go through his heart and he's now able to see it all as a blessing. And so this was demonstrating the beautiful process of acceptance that most of us go through. And the other little thing is the manure is crap. So symbolically, it's like eventually we move through the process of all this crap and negativity in our lives, and it's met with true forgiveness and acceptance. So Evelyn wrote, this is a little PDF, "Stop the boomerang of fear, pause and feel." And this is the little guy with the boomerang, "Stop the boomerang of fear, pause, feel." And then break the cycle with acceptance, respond with love, love transmutes.
When COVID broke out, some of you know I'm an artist and all this stuff is just flowing through me, not through words now, but through color. And 32 shapes came during COVID. So there are 32 of these shapes that got drawn from spirit, from that higher part of who I am. And each of these have a symbol. They're a symbol of a word, and this is the one for acceptance. And actually, if you trace these shapes with your finger, you're getting the vibration of the word. So it starts with abundance and it goes all the way to win-win, both ends. And they're all very different. So this book is going to come out in a set of cards that can be used for readings, for where we could shift our attention so that, you know, we're moving our vibration higher. That was my share about acceptance. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Karen. Yeah, so again, those interested in joining online or in-person groups, there are many going on, no time zones in case of online groups, so you just check out the website, it's easy. So we have more than one page here, but I hope I can see someone raising a hand, or you may use the icon from Zoom itself if you know how to do it. So again, I repeat, is there anyone who would like to share anything with the group here? Any expressions, any feedback, any comments, questions?
Well, I would just like to thank everyone for your willingness to come and connect, come to spend this time together, watch what's expanding amongst all of us in our journey, wherever we are along the path. I shared with a few people that a couple of weeks ago, I began asking, I'm wondering if there might be some sort of a Course of Love type conference coming up. And within a week, got the answer, the notice of this event. So thank you all. Thank you for taking the time to hook up with us today and
Yeah.
move along. And thank you for John Lennon's song.
Oh, yeah. Thank you, Bill, and Gloria. Thank you for being here. Sharon Griffin.
Actually, just thank you to all the organizers
Yeah.
for this lovely experience and for everyone else for showing up. I enjoyed it thoroughly and learned a lot. I wish I could have been in every breakout room and been able to hear all of it. Thank you.
That's a good one. Thank you. Thank you for your comments, your feedback, Sharon. Well, if there is no one else, we can close here now. So thank each one of you for deciding to join this gathering. It would be nothing without your presence here. So the many meetings that we, the event organizers, spent joining our hearts and minds and envisioning this gathering is only meaningful because you chose to be here with us. So gratitude to each one of you.
And looking forward many other gatherings. Yeah.
Oh, yes, there will be more. We are excited with the response we have got. There was over 60 registrations there on Eventbrite, so there will surely be more good events like this one. So hope to see you the next time. And thank you again. And bye-bye.
Thank you.
From Brazil.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Rodrigo.
Bye. Thank you.
Judy and Rodrigo.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thanks again, everyone. Love to all.
So,
Bye-bye.
bye.
Yeah.